got time. Today I got time. You lucky on that day I was acting cool, cuz. What? What's up, outmaster? Are you, cuz? I don't fuck with you, cuz you disrespecting me. I don't fuck with you, cuz you disrespecting me.
I go hard, cuz. Hey, everyone. I hope you guys are doing good today. Happy, what is today? Wednesday, child. The week is just flying by. I hope everybody's doing good. Let me go ahead and make sure I have all my screens up. We have a lot to get into. It has been a crazy 24 hours in the news cycle with so much stuff coming out about Ambercrombie and Fitch. I have been talking about these folks for years. And it is just, it's crazy to see like the dominoes are falling. You know, some people are saying, you know, is Diddy in there telling? Is he snitching? Is he bringing people down? I think it goes way deeper than that. I really do. So I hope you guys are doing good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me make sure everything is up and running. Oh, that's cute. I see all the little green hearts. Yes, I'm rocking my green today. Green background, green outfit. Y'all know I like to switch it up. You never know what I'm going to look like when I come on live, honey. Okay, so thank y'all for joining me today. So it is a lot to get into. I think at this point, I'm not going to make no promises, may end up having to do a deep dive on this situation because the connections with all of this that's going on, I was just breaking down, you know, just for my own edification, a lot of the connections. It's, I don't even know where to start. Like as far as like the modeling industry, you know, we've been hearing for years that there's a dark side, that there's a side that is used for trafficking of young models, male and female. And like I said a few streams ago, you know, sometimes rejection is protection. And I'm learning that more and more that things come out. You know, if you guys have known me, y'all know when I was younger, I was involved in modeling in the Twin Cities. And, you know, that was like one of my goals when I was young. I wanted to be a model. And I mean, y'all done see me strut my little stuff for my Mean Girls thing I had put up for my party when I went from being sick to putting on the Mean Girls outfit. So that was me just kind of doing my little runway walk. So I am very familiar with the industry as far as modeling goes. And then when I lived in LA, I helped out on a lot of fashion shows and, you know, worked with the models, made sure they were good. But it is really disturbing to just see all of the stuff that has been coming out over the past few years. You know, this is nothing new. But I guess the extent of the depravity is what is shocking a lot of people. And the fact that big name people are being, you know, called out and being held to task. So it is a lot to unpack here. But we're going to start with the whole Abercrombie and Fitch story. Now, with Abercrombie and Fitch, a lot of people have had issues with them anyways, just like over the years. I know they blew up for me because I grew up in the Midwest. So I wasn't on the East Coast. I know a lot of people on the East Coast and West Coast were really into like Abercrombie and Fitch, Hollister, things like that. Those stores were always around in Minnesota, but I remember it didn't really become popular until LFO. I don't know if I'm telling my age, but who remembers LFO? Remember they had that line, I like girls that wear Abercrombie and Fitch, Chinese food makes me sick. That was the jam, right? And so when that came out, I remember everybody wanting to wear Abercrombie and Fitch. That was when I first went into an Abercrombie and Fitch store because I'm just like, okay, you know, y'all remember LFO? And I know the one guy died about a year or so ago. But that really cemented Abercrombie and Fitch in like popular culture. And so after that, you would see like casting calls for Abercrombie and Fitch. I knew people who try and work there, but if you were black, you would like very rarely would you get a spot at Abercrombie and Fitch. Like you had to be super small, between like a size 0 and a size 2. If you were a 4, you know, they said that people, you know, you get fired. They really liked racially ambiguous or white people at Abercrombie and Fitch. And a lot of their clothes were made smaller. And so they've kind of been blasted over the years for their practices and how they treated people and things like that. But I remember like a lot of the white girls in Minnesota, like they love their Abercrombie and Fitch. Like that was their store. You know what I mean? No shade, but it was. So to me, when I went in there, I think I've only had maybe like one shirt. Like their stuff was boring to me. Like I was more of a Tommy girl. Because Tommy Girl was really popular back then. Polo Sport was really popular. So, you know, FUBU. So I was more into like the urban stuff. But a lot of the white girls definitely rocked with Abercrombie and Fitch. That's who was more geared towards. So I really can't speak on it as a young black girl growing up. I just remember it became popular to us once it was in that song. So yeah, it was like literally, like somebody said, $60, $70 shirts, and they were literally like regular shirts. They didn't really have a logo on there, so child, give me a Tommy Girl shirt any day, okay? If I'm gonna spend $60 to $100, that bitch better say Tommy Girl on there, okay? So it was a lot, and Gap too. Gap and Old Navy, those were our stores as well. So it came out yesterday, breaking news, that the CEO had been charged with sex trafficking. So we're going to go ahead and watch this clip here. It's kind of long, but we're going to go ahead and watch it. I don't know how long this stream is going to be, but I got a lot to say. Ezek said it was too basic. Yeah, that's what I thought too. It was very basic for what they were charging. So like that wasn't our thing. Wasn't Ambercrombie and Fitch. So let me share my screen here. So we're going to watch this whole news conference here. Go ahead and zoom in a bit. All right, there we go.
The man who helped launch Abercrombie and Fitch to must-wear brand status. The accusers numbering more than a dozen. Their allegations horrifying. Here's ABC's senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katersky.
We're here today to announce the arrest and charging of 3 defendants.
It was a stunning announcement.
Former CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, Michael Jeffries, Matthew Smith, and James Jacobson.
The former CEO of one of America's most celebrated brands, Abercrombie and Fitch, arrested along with his romantic partner and a business associate.
Their sex trafficking and prostitution enterprise lasted at least from the end of 2008 until early 2015. They spent millions of dollars on a massive infrastructure to support this operation and maintain its secrecy.
Jeffries, who stepped down from Abercrombie in 2014, is accused by law enforcement of using his power and wealth to traffic and sexually.
Okay, I'm not trying to be superficial here, but I want you guys to pay attention to how unattractive this man was. And notice a pattern of these type of men. And that is what Suge Knight was hitting on, that Chris Cuomo didn't pick up, that I talked about that day with Diddy. How back then he was very unattractive until he started getting plastic surgery. This man looks like a demon. The way his eyes are, his mouth, he looks like he is possessed by demons. Very unattractive. We'll get back to why I'm saying to keep that part in mind.
Exploit more than a dozen young men around the world, many of them aspiring models. The 16-count indictment includes charges of sex trafficking and prostitution. At the heart of the case, the allegations of 15 John Does.
So it's jaw-dropping and shocking in every twist and turn of this case. We've seen R. Kelly go down on similar charges, and in the Southern District of New York, Sean Combs is facing the exact same charges.
When I saw the charges come down, I said, perhaps this is a continuation of the reckoning that I think we are starting to see in this world of arts and entertainment moving forward.
The arrests are relief to those who have alleged in civil lawsuits they were victimized.
This, what feels like an evil villain, continued to use his power to harm a lot of people. And I don't think he feels bad about it.
To anyone who thinks they can exploit and coerce others by using the so-called casting couch system, this case should serve as a warning.
Jeffries and his romantic partner Matthew Smith were arrested in Palm Beach, Florida. Jeffries is now released on a $10 million bond while Smith remains detained. Their attorneys issued identical statements saying we will respond in detail to the allegations after the indictment is unsealed and when appropriate, but plan to do so in the courthouse, not the media. Jacobson was arrested in Wisconsin. He appeared in a Minnesota courtroom and was released on bail. His attorneys declined to comment. Court documents allege the length Jeffries, his partner Smith, and their business associate Jacobson used to lure young men to sex events around the globe, from New York to Europe and Morocco.
This indictment is that these three men would use the allure of a modeling career or being associated with Abercrombie and Fitch to seduce and also allegedly rape many of these men.
Prosecutors said the itineraries for some of the events made no mention of sex and instead resembled those often sent to models for photo shoots. Jacobson allegedly acted as a recruiter for Jeffries and Smith.
Jacobson engaged in, quote, tryouts with men across the world where he would typically pay them to engage in sex acts with him.
The federal indictment alleges that prior to sex events, the John Does were physically groomed, including at times shaving men's genitals without advance notice.
There were two things that stood out to me to the indictment. One, the network.
Let me interrupt here. What a lot of people don't understand, and I didn't realize this until I got older and I would talk to like male model friends of mine. They go through a lot in the male modeling industry. Like so many times people feel like male models are just props, right? They're just props for female models, but that's not the case. There have been stories, like even when you see young men in like underwear ads, like let's just say Calvin Klein ads, just for reference. A lot of times they do, like they'll touch them, they'll grope them, they'll make them semi-hard so that way they can fill out that bulge part in the boxers or the boxer briefs. This happens a lot to male models where they'll just be touched, groped, like they were just saying, you know, shave their genitals, because they want to basically have you drop down your guards where you just assume that, you know, where you just start to feel like nudity is not a big deal. Anybody can touch you. It's to bring down your guards so that way it normalizes it to you. That's not normal. And that's why I hate when people get offended when I say things like, yes, I understand, you know, what am I trying to say? Okay, I understand that, right? Some people are born gay, right? That's, you know, they were born gay. They've always been attracted to guys. They've been attracted to guys since they were 5. Okay, cool. That's your story. But like I always say, there are different routes that people come into homosexuality. And I'm not going to act like that is not a fact. A lot of these guys with this Ambercrombie and Fitch situation, a lot of the models that have been speaking out, they were not gay guys. These were straight men. These were heterosexual men who were put into positions where they were turned out. That is a real thing. I don't know why people get offended when I say that, or why people, you know, act like that's homophobic to say that. You do have some gay men who do prey on guys. Case in point, these two, Mike Jeffries and his boyfriend. So yes, some of the models were gay, but a lot of these models were straight men. And they were being plied with drugs and being forced to do things that they ordinarily would not do. Same thing with Diddy. Diddy is a bisexual man. A lot of the guys that he was coming at and turning out, they weren't initially bisexual or gay. So I think that is a real conversation that people need to understand, that when somebody says that, that doesn't make you homophobic. You're pointing out something that sometimes predators do that. Just like you'll have females who are straight, but then you'll have grown women like Ghislaine Maxwell who may swing every which way, and they'll turn out these young girls. So that way they can prepare them and bring down their guards to where they're like that one lawsuit that Diddy got filed, where he was literally passed around like a piece of meat to men and women. Yeah, it's definitely grooming. Somebody said James Charles. Yeah, he's a weirdo. He's a weirdo. Yeah, James Charles went after a lot of straight guys. The one boy was like, he was straight, but once James was coming at him, he's like, well, now I don't know what I am. You know what I'm saying? So things can happen to you in the industry that can make you just turn a whole 360. A lot of it is mental manipulation. And yes, I understand that bisexual men exist, but if these men are saying I wasn't bisexual, I was a heterosexual male, why can't we just accept that? Why do we have to then be like, oh no, they had to been gay or they had to been bi? No, some people are straight, and you have some gay men and women who will go after the straights because it's more of a challenge, or they want to see if they can get them on the other team. Let's not act like this has not been stuff that's been said and discussed for years around the kitchen table. But when you bring it to social media, y'all try and remix it like y'all have never heard this before. So let's keep going. I just wanted to make that case in point. A lot of male models are definitely groomed and abused. And, you know, a lot of times because they are men, who do they tell this to? Especially when you're supposed to be a straight man. How can you then come out and be like, you know, I ended up in this sex act with a bunch of guys? Well, then everybody's going to call you gay and say that you wanted it. So a lot of these guys will keep this, you know, secret bottled up for years. So a lot of things are just being handled and coming out. Let me go ahead and play this.
That was made and used to facilitate the sex trafficking, but also the use of drugs to induce erections so that people who could not or would not participate in sexual acts were forced to do so.
The defendants pressured the men to consume alcohol, Viagra, and muscle relaxants known as poppers during the sex events.
At the sex events, the indictment alleges staff controlled the entry and exit and directed men to wear costumes and use sex toys. Prosecutors claim the victims were sometimes paid for attending the events and forced to sign non-disclosure agreements. It's a staggering fall for the once highly successful CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch.
Mike Jeffries expanded Abercrombie and Fitch from a small apparel store in the United States to a massive enterprise throughout the world.
Jeffries helped turn the brand into a cultural phenomenon.
In the mid to late 90s specifically, Abercrombie and Fitch was everywhere. It was very much giving coastal prep boy energy, very preppy, very country clubby, very much the moment.
Popular among teens, Abercrombie's marketing campaigns in commercials like these, selling sexy images of shirtless men and barely dressed women. Going viral before the word viral was part of the lexicon.
And for all y'all who were teenagers in the 90s and 2000s, a lot of the people in these ads were teenagers. These weren't grown men and women. You know, you have to ask yourself why they go after people so young. Why do they want models to be as young as possible? You know, like these ads like this, I remember Calvin Klein as well. Remember the heroin chic ads with Kate Moss? You know, it was a lot of just really risque things. And when you look back on it as an adult, they were grooming us as kids, as consumers, to think that this is normal and this is just how it should be, and to, you know, pique our interest in sex at an early age. These were commercials that were on television.
And sparking controversy, too.
The boundaries were absolutely pushed about what was socially acceptable at that time to get this attention. So what you saw in these advertisements a lot of times were a lack of clothing. It's a clothing brand, but you didn't see a lot of clothing.
The Abercrombie look immortalized in songs like LFO's 1999 hit Summer Girls.
I like girls that wear Abercrombie and Fitch.
Everyone wanted to look like a model at Abercrombie. It was influential in our music, to the way that people dressed and the way that people acted.
Some of the models became Hollywood heavyweights: Channing Tatum, Ashton Kutcher, Jennifer Lawrence, Olivia Wilde, and Heidi Klum.
For an aspiring model to land an ad with Abercrombie and Fitch, I mean, that's kind of the penultimate, especially if you're a young male model. The opportunities aren't as vast for you as they are for your female counterparts.
But the company's sales began to sputter in 2011. Jeffries stepped down in 2014. The brand has also come under scrutiny in the last decade. In a Netflix documentary, White Hot, The Rise and Fall of Abercrombie and Fitch, former models spoke out.
Abercrombie said it wasn't that we were being racially discriminated against, it was that we weren't good looking enough.
In today's criminal indictment, Abercrombie and Fitch is not accused of wrongdoing, but prosecutors allege Jeffries used the potential of an opportunity with Abercrombie to lure young men. When ABC News reached out to the company, it declined to comment. In 2023, the BBC aired a documentary featuring several former models accusing Jeffries of sexually exploiting them.
What happened to me changed my life, and not for the better.
Barrett Paul was one of those who spoke out to the BBC.
As a young person, you tell yourself this is just part of what the industry is.
Paul was a model when he says he crossed paths with Jeffries, Smith, and Jacobson in 2011.
Being able to get into a meeting with the CEO meant you had a very good chance of becoming one of the models, and you know, this was the draw. This is why I was an easy person to prey upon.
He claims he was invited to attend an event at Jeffries' estate in the Hamptons. Paul thought it was a chance to audition to be an Abercrombie model.
You know, I was told that there could be some things that were not your normal interview. However, this is your chance. You're not going to get another one like this. And I was given Abercrombie and Fitch underwear to put on. I walked into a scene that would make most people extremely uncomfortable, extremely nervous, scared. There is not just them, but other men in there doing stuff that I was not comfortable with. And then there's other men in there completely dressed in Abercrombie and Fitch clothes.
What happened still haunts him.
I was stripped of what felt like my humanity. I felt like a piece of meat.
For years, he stayed silent. He says he worried speaking out would ruin his career. Now he's part of a class action lawsuit filed last year representing at least dozens who claim Abercrombie's crucial support allowed Jeffries to successfully rape, sexually assault, and coercively sex traffic Barrett Paul and numerous others. Jeffries and
Now, you notice how they only want attractive people in their stores, you know, attractive men and women, yet he looks like an ogre. He doesn't even have eyebrows, barely. And then I see comments like, you know, well, why did they wait so long? You know, why are they now just talking? How about we start asking these CEOs and these predators, why are they raping? Why are they, you know, harassing children? Why are they putting young men and women in situations that are not conducive for them? That's really the question. Not why these people are, you know, just now coming out. Do you know how long it takes for somebody who is violated to, one, get the strength to come out? That's why when I told y'all, when Cassie came out with her lawsuit, I said the floodgates are about to open. Because when people see that they're not alone, there is strength in numbers. So when they did that BBC documentary called The Men of Ambercrombie, I believe that was the name of it. I haven't been able to watch it because it's on Apple TV. But when they did that documentary, that opened up the floodgates. Because it was just like maybe 3 or 4 of them telling their story. Then eventually more people were like, oh my God, it wasn't just me. I wasn't alone. I wasn't tripping. You know, because a lot of times you blame yourself when you get into those situations, like, why did I go? Or, you know, you take fault as the victim, not understanding that these are the games that are being played and you were just a puppet. And so this is why a lot of these men and women are now feeling comfortable enough to come out. No different than what's going on in Nickelodeon and Disney. What went on with the Me Too movement with Harvey Weinstein. He's another ogre. He would never play a leading man in a movie. But yet and still, he had the power to make or break people in Hollywood. Very disturbing.
Abercrombie and Fitch have both denied the claims and filed motions to dismiss the civil lawsuit and the claims made by Paul.
I think that there is no doubt that the criminal case never would have been opened but for our civil lawsuit.
Brad Edwards is one of the lawyers on that civil case.
This is the first sex trafficking operation that we have worked where the victims were all males and the perpetrator was a male. I think that has led to some of the victims being more reluctant than others to come forward. But I would say every single month, we have heard from more and more victims.
Jeffries and Jacobson will be arraigned Friday on the criminal charges.
If found guilty, they can face 15 years to life for the sex trafficking charge and up to 20 years for each one of those counts of interstate prostitution.
The FBI is urging others who believe they are victims to come forward.
We are waiting to hear from you, and we're here to help you.
Paul hopes sharing his story can give others courage.
We are absolutely getting closer and closer to a tipping point where I know more men are going to feel comfortable saying me too. I don't want anyone else to have to go through what I went through.
All right, let me come back on the screen. So, the whole situation is really sad because, like I said, growing up in the 90s, and I think, there is a disconnect for a lot of people who are younger, right? One, you guys have social media. You guys have a soapbox. You guys can jump on TikTok and air out your grievances. If anybody mistreats y'all, everybody and their mama gonna know about it, okay? That is one of the blessings that you guys have as Gen Z and Gen Alpha that we didn't have as millennials and Gen Xers, okay? We were taught to just take things on the chin. Well, it didn't kill you. It'll just make you stronger. There was really nobody to turn and talk to. Maybe your friends. But even then, a lot of us didn't even realize that a lot of this stuff was assault. Yeah, I remember this story when I told you about, when I was taking a picture with that guy and his wife, and he started feeling on me. And I didn't even know until you guys told me that was assault. Because I'm just like, I'm like, were they in some type of freaky, I don't know what they were trying to do, but I'm trying to take a picture and he's like feeling on me. So it's like these conversations were not had when we were young, And so after a while, you just think it's just normal, guys will be guys. It is what it is until you get older and you're having to relearn like, no, this shit is not okay. No one should touch you without permission. So what is really disturbing about this situation, because I think about like just friends I've had over the years who were in the modeling industry, females and males. And, guys that I know for a fact, they were straight. They were attracted to women and what I'm saying, that's what they liked. And then as the years, went on, it's like, they're not anymore. And so now I'm thinking like, damn, could they have been, touched or turned out? You just never know. I mean, and granted, some people hide in the closet until they're comfortable enough to come out. But things like this really make me think that of some of my friends in the industry. Like, it's really disturbing to think about because, again, we grew up in an era where, like I said, the celebrity image was perfectly curated. The only thing you knew about your faves was what you read in teen magazines, what you saw in interviews. We didn't have access to celebrities like how y'all do now, how they tweet everything and they just whatever's on their mind, they're letting you know via Twitter or Instagram. We didn't have that. So they were almost, to us as kids, put on a pedestal. All you had was these beautifully Photoshopped, perfectly curated images of Naomi Campbell, Tyra Banks, all of these people. And so you're told, like, if you're a celebrity, they're making millions of dollars, right? Because they're on the red carpet, they're, sashaying and turning in their $10,000 gowns. So you're thinking for somebody to wear a $10,000 gown, and we don't even have no heat right now. There's no groceries in the refrigerator. They're clearly blessed. And you're thinking those blessings, if you pray hard enough and if you, can just book the right gig, you can get your family out of poverty. You can make it, because for us, making it was being on television. Making it was walking down the runway. Making it was being in a music video. And I'm talking about people who want to go towards entertainment. I'm not talking about people who want to be doctors and lawyers. That's different. I'm talking about young people who want to go into the entertainment field. That was what making it was. So it was very easy for these young men and women to be lured in with all these hopes and dreams. And when you're young, you don't even have the scope to think about what could happen. When you're young, you deal in like, in almost like, I forgot what the word is. Well, you don't see anything bad. Like everything, like you're always seeing things good, you know? Like you never see things like, because that hasn't been shattered yet. So you see the good in everything. You don't know that there's evil people out there. You don't know that there's people who have nefarious plans for you. Like sometimes I talk to my friends and I'm like, it's a blessing that we survived childhood. Just all this stuff that we had access to. You know, a lot of people were saying that the young girl in the lawsuit that was at the Diddy party, well, where were her parents at? You know, why would a 13-year-old be out there like that? Rose-colored glasses, thank you. Naive. That's how it was back then. As long as we were home by a certain time, there was no cell phones. There were no, you know, Snapchat where you could follow your kids. None of that was even thought of back then. You literally came home, called your mom or dad on the phone when you got home from school, made it home from school. Okay, cool, going outside. And then you just prayed that your kids came back. Remember, there were commercials growing up. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are at? Those were real commercials. Because we could just roam around freely. I don't think that this generation gets it. Because it's very easy to be critical. It's very easy to be judgmental when you weren't in that time and space. See, y'all live in a world where y'all have helicopter parents. And the reason why a lot of y'all's parents are helicopter parents is because all the bullshit we went through in the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s. Like it even shocks me when I hear about like kids getting dropped off at school. We walked blocks to school. School wasn't right around the corner. We walked for blocks to school in second grade. No adults, just about maybe 6 or 7 of us. We'd go to each other's homes, knock on the door, and we'd just be in a big group and we walk to school. You don't even see kids walking no more. They all get rides. When you drive past the school, literally the drop-off line is around the corner because every parent is dropping their kid off. We didn't get dropped off. You walked. And that's just what it was. And you prayed you made it home safe. So when I tell you it's a miracle that a lot of us made it through childhood, it really is. So I can definitely see a 13-year-old getting dropped off, trying to go to the VMAs, and then just talking to limo drivers like, I came all this way, I want to try and find something. That's how it was. Puffy was a role model to us back then. Notice I call him Puffy. He was a role model. Why? Because he was rich. He made good music. No one could even fathom that this man was doing the evil that he was doing back then. It's like these were the new millionaires in hip hop. To see black men and women have status and money, that was something to like look up to. That was goals for us. But as we got older, the facade of celebrity has shattered. And for a lot of y'all who are coming up, y'all see the celebrity lifestyle shattered. Y'all have all types of, exposés and conspiracies and TikTok rabbit holes. We didn't have any of that. So you got to understand that a lot of this stuff was taking time in a time and space before social media, where things were hush-hush, where whatever you went through, you just had to take it on the chin and keep it pushing, no matter how fucked up it was. Let me see here. So another thing I want to hit on is a lot of these connections. I've been saying for years, somebody says, as a Gen Zer, this is why I have grace for my elders. Thank you, Eris. We appreciate you for having grace for us, for real, because I was kind of upset when I was seeing so many of the comments demonizing this 13-year-old. You know how many times I said I was going to be one place and I was in a whole nother place? And there's no way for your parents to verify. And if you had parents back then that hovered over you, knew your every move, then, well, bless your heart. That wasn't everybody's situation. Some people's parents had a lot of kids. They worked 24/7. Some people didn't have fathers in the home. So if you were in a situation where both your parents were there and your mom was a homemaker and she knew where you were at from sunup to sundown, consider yourself blessed. That was not my story. That was not a lot of people's stories. So don't talk down on people, because as children, we can't help our situations. We can't help our circumstances. We're just born. We don't pick our parents. We don't pick. If we all could pick, we'd all live in mansions and have butlers and maids and not have to worry about hunger and things like that. We're just born. And then we deal with the circumstances as they come at us. But somebody said we need a GoFundMe for the 90s and what we went through, child. I'm telling you, Gen X and the millennials, we need a class action lawsuit. We went through a lot of shit. Like there's certain things that I just try to block out. There's certain grades. Like I think 8th grade was the worst year for me. I've literally had to like mentally block out my 8th grade year just to continue on day by day through life. 8th grade was the worst. But 8th grade aside, a lot of these people, somebody said, what happened to you? I'm not talking about it because then I'll really be in this bitch crying. But a lot of these people are very much connected. One of the things, a lot of people thinking that, okay, this whole Abercrombie and Fitch situation is like just solo. It's just Abercrombie and Fitch. But if you really understand the connections in the industry, not just the modeling, why is it squeaking? Let me move my microphone. Not just the modeling industry, but the entertainment industry. We've had a lot of people caught out this year, right? A lot of people have been exposed. So from Diddy to Dan Schneider, Vince McMahon, Andrew Tate, Kanye West, Russell Simmons, and the list goes on. Mary J. Blige. They've been attaching her to all types of foolishness. What's very interesting with this Mike Jeffries situation, what a lot of y'all may not realize, he was brought in to help turn around. He has a really deep connection with Lex Wexner. Lex Wexner is the owner of Victoria's Secrets. And I said this years ago that you cannot tell me that the Victoria's Secrets era with the models and all that was nothing but a big sex trafficking ring. And I very much believe that Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, Naomi Campbell, Lex Wexner, all of these people are tied in together. Let's not forget in the video that I showed a few days ago, remember it was Cassie's birthday. Who was there with Diddy and Cassie to wish her happy birthday? Naomi Campbell. At one point in time, a lot of people don't know this, Naomi Campbell and Diddy dated in the early 90s. All these people are connected. Something I had written down here. Okay, so in 1988, Lex Wexner, he had bought Abercrombie and Fitch because he's a billionaire. So he owns a lot of brands. So he bought Abercrombie and Fitch and he brought in Mike Jeffries and put him in charge to run Abercrombie and Fitch. So he has a very close relationship with Wexner. You know how everybody says that Clive Davis, taught Diddy his dark ways in the industry. He basically groomed Andre Harrell, and then in turn, Andre Harrell groomed Diddy. It's kind of like that, I believe, in the fashion industry. Lex Wexner, Jeffrey Epstein, they're at the top of the food chain. He brought Jeffrey Epstein in to control the money and help him with his finances. Then he brought in Mike Jeffries to run Abercrombie and Fitch. So the same thing that they're doing to the female models are now in turn being done to the male models at Abercrombie and Fitch. I believe they were all working in cahoots. Now, remember I did the video not too long ago about the young African girl, Elsa Majimbo? And remember, her and Naomi Campbell had a falling out. And I said that I felt like Naomi was literally trying to pimp out this little girl. And she let it slip that she called Naomi looking for help. Hold on. She called Naomi looking for help because a lot of old white men were trying to get at her. Let me try and find the video. I'm going to show y'all how all these fools are connected. So I did this video 8 months ago. Well, even before I did this video 8 months ago, let me refresh y'all's memory. 9 months ago, Virginia Dufresne. So yeah, let me talk about this first and we'll go to my video. So 9 months ago, if y'all don't know, Virginia Dufresne, who was one of the people who got the ball rolling on Jeffrey Epstein, she is now going after Lex Wexner. And so she is coming out and she's saying that Lex Wexner had sex with her when she was a teenager. This has been swept under the rug. So I really hope I see all of these weirdos who come to my stream, these men, and say, oh, you don't never talk about white men. You're always talking about Diddy. You must be new here. Because I talk about everyone. If you're exploiting somebody, abusing children, I don't care your race, you're going to be talked about on this channel. I was one of the few black commentators who was sitting here with my foot on top of Harvey Weinstein. So y'all need to shut the hell up with this whole they're trying to bring down a black man. Because Mike Jeffries is as white as they come. So let's go ahead and watch this video here.
Ohio businessman Les Wexner mentioned again in the latest round of unsealed documents related to the investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. We do want to stress appearing in the documents does not mean someone is connected to anything illegal, but for the first time, Epstein victim Victoria Giuffre says she did have sex with Les Wexner. Jeffrey Epstein was a millionaire known for associating with high-profile celebrities and billionaires and politicians, accused of sexually exploiting dozens of girls for guests at his home. Epstein was arrested in 2019 and authorities say died by suicide in his cell. His former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, is currently serving a 20-year prison term for helping to recruit underage victims like Giuffre. In this latest round of documents, Giuffre tells an attorney she had sex with Wexner multiple times. The documents released are nearly 1,500 pages, with the name Wexner appearing 46 times. In a deposition from 2016, Giuffre is asked, how many times did you have sex with Les Wexner? Giuffre responds, multiple, before elaborating more than 3, possibly more than 5, but not more than 10. In 2019, Brad Edwards, a lawyer representing victims of Epstein, said he believed Wexner was not involved in the sexual proclivities of Mr. Epstein, saying, quote, it's very seldom that many of the victims actually even met him or saw him. I do know that there's a lot of business ties to him, but other than receiving information about their business connection, I don't have any information to believe otherwise. NBC4 reached out to Wexner's spokesperson, who directed us to court documents from 2020, in which Wexner's lawyers wrote, Mr. Wexner was unaware of and was never a participant in any of the abhorrent behavior engaged in by Epstein against Epstein's victims, that Mr. Wexner has never met Ms. Giuffre, and that any claims to the contrary were not true. At one point, Epstein worked as Wexner's personal finance manager. A document on file in Franklin County shows Epstein was given power of attorney over much of Wexner's financial affairs in 1991. Following Epstein's 2019 arrest, Wexner released a statement through his business, L Brands, stating he had severed any ties to Epstein more than a dozen years earlier. Now, to read more about the latest release of the documents related to Jeffrey Epstein, you can go to NBC.
All right, so you guys just saw that. So like I said, a lot of this stuff has been in the media for months, but again, it's swept under the rug. It's not going to really go viral. And the fact that she was depositioned in 2016 and all this was coming out 9 months ago shows you that they've been trying to keep it a secret. It's insane, all this stuff going on. So now this is my video that I did 8 months ago. So a month after this came out, concerning Elsa and Naomi Campbell. So we're going to go ahead and watch this flashback, a live stream flashback. Give me just a second here. All right. Hits and blows in my career came from another Black woman and not my own incompetence. Then somebody says to her, baby, we saw in your demeanor in that video that this is a sensitive topic for you. Then she replies back and she says, from 19 years old too, she made me an alcoholic and full-blown depressed. It's now time to heal and be happy. Then she says, Naomi obviously never force-fed me alcohol. The situation led to that action, my actions. As I said, my part was played and the responsibility is mine. Then she says, I stand by my words, content in my decision. The tweets are deleted due to seeking peace, not fear. Y'all need to understand this is something that happened since I was 19. My goal is now happiness. Then somebody else says, don't be scared, Elsa. Tell us, did she harass you into deleting those tweets? Please reply quickly. We don't have all day. We have to attend other people's business that have nothing to do with us. She replies back, she says, LOL, no, she threatened to sue and post screenshots of the time I asked her to help me with some older white execs that were trying to sleep with me. I'm now moving on and leaving it in the past. Then somebody... So y'all caught that, right? She asked her for help with some older white execs that were trying to sleep with her. And Naomi Campbell is not going to help anybody because she herself is a fucking pass around. We're going to keep going. Somebody says, this seems deeper than we thought. She replies back, she said, it's very deep. I'm not speaking because I'm brave sometimes, and when you're pushed to the edge, you have no option but to jump. Then somebody says, what can we do to support you? How do you need us to show up for you? And she says, just listen, I've dealt with it alone for years. I feel like a weight has been lifted off of me. So that is what is going on with this situation. Her video was kind of long, you know, and convoluted. You know me, I don't have a lot of patience. Let me try and skip forward because I want to get to the part about Virginia Dufresne. For y'all who don't know who she is, I talked about her in this video. You saw me at your parties. You saw me in Epstein's home. You saw me on the plane. You saw me get my hair cut. You saw me on the streets. You watched me be abused. You saw me. Hashtag awareness, hashtag justice, hashtag Ghislaine Maxwell, hashtag Jeffrey Epstein, hashtag Naomi Campbell, hashtag Prince Andrew. Okay? And so she also goes on to say this 3 years later. Somebody says, it's no surprise that all these people were complicit in the abuse and trafficking of girls and women. We have hashtag Maggie Oliver in the UK fighting for the same justice. Rochdale grooming gang were allowed to prowl the streets. Police and social workers knew, but turned a blind eye. So Virginia replied back, this was a year ago. She says, trust me when I say authorities who need to know what happened and who was involved already knew. It's amazing how money can permeate silence. So I think, all right, one thing about me, you know, I keep receipts and I keep the same energy. I don't care if you're a male, female, black or white. My issue with this situation as well that's tying Naomi Campbell into all this foolishness is you guys just heard Virginia say that a lot of authority people in the UK knew. A lot of people in power in law enforcement knew. And I think the same thing is going on here. I think a lot of people knew that this was going on, but let's just say the hush money is no longer hushing. America's going broke. A lot of people are struggling right now. People are not shopping like they were once shopping. I haven't heard anybody say anything about an Abercrombie and Fitch in years. You know, people are being more tight with their money. We got the elections coming up. The money is not moneying. So I'm thinking that a lot of these folks who are doing a lot of this dirt, they don't have no money to pay the hushes no more. So now we're not getting paid. Palms are not being greased. Get them, boys. They serve us no purpose anymore. I think that's what's going on with a lot of this stuff. I refuse to believe that 2024, yes, it's the year of exposure, but please don't act like you guys are just now putting two and two together when I've been putting two and two together literally since 2016 with a lot of this shit. So only I and other conspiracy people and people who talk about things on a deeper level, we were the only ones who saw the writing on the wall. Interesting. Very interesting. So I think that's what a lot of this is coming down to. The money's not moneying. And people are definitely feeling away. Oh, am I frozen? Hold on, let me refresh my screen. Hope y'all can see me because my YouTube page just crashed. Can y'all still see me? We got over 10,000 people in here. Y'all can't see me? Oh, okay, I'm not frozen. Okay, thank you. Because on my end, it froze up and then it like just crashed. Okay. I'm going to keep going. Okay, so now, what else? I have a bunch of notes here. Give me just a second. So talk about that. Let's also get on another person that I've noticed that people, you know, they claim to cancel him. And then he mysteriously came back in 2023. Like, bitch, nothing happened. Who remembers the Alexander Wang saga? Remember, Alexander Wang was out here sexually harassing transsexuals and grabbing folks' nuts, doing all types of bullshit, harassing male models. And remember, Azealia Banks had called him out years ago. And male models were taught. Remember, thank y'all, Teacup. Remember, people was calling him out. And then all of a sudden, he was canceled for a little bit. And then Kanye West's girlfriend at the time, Julia Fox, walked his show like nothing had happened. That's why I say all these people are in cahoots. See, it's always okay when they mess with and harass regular people, average people. As long as it's not them, they're still willing to support. That is when Kanye West was dating Julia Fox. And she walked the Alexander Wang runway show. And I'm like, well, damn, I thought his ass was canceled. When did who allowed him to come back into the industry? So let me go ahead and refresh y'all's memory in case y'all don't remember all the stuff that's going on back in 2020. Because again, this is bigger than just Diddy. As much as I don't like Diddy, it's way bigger than Diddy. And it's way bigger than hip hop. So let's go ahead and watch this TikTok real quick. And then I'm going to play y'all the video because I know a lot of people forgot about when Azealia Banks was clocking his tea. She was blasting him on Twitter. She was tweeting stuff and was saying, you know, all you do is, you know, R people and sexually harass people. And then she deleted the tweets. And then she came back and did a live stream. And somebody ended up recording the live stream of her clocking Alexander Wang's tea. I don't know if y'all remember that, but we're going to talk about it. All right, so this is a refresher.
Since we last spoke about a controversial fashion designer, so let's talk about Alexander Wang. In December of 2020, many people came forward accusing Alexander Wang of sexually assaulting them. Many reported groping. There were stories of trans women having their genitals exposed by Wang. Many also reported seeing him drug victims. Obviously, Wang and his lawyers denied all of the accusations. Last year, he did put out statements saying that he disagreed with certain aspects of accusers' stories. He also said that he would try to set a better example as a public figure. Now, this hasn't gone to court. However, I and many other people obviously believe in no smoke without fire, and also, generally speaking, taking victims' words as truth. And while he did initially deny everything, him saying that certain aspects he disagrees with makes me think that it's true.
Okay, so now let me go ahead and find that clip. Okay, girl. Let me find the clip. Okay, here's the clip of Azalea. So we're going to listen to this for a few minutes here. Give me just a second.
And we all miss that. Like, all right, y'all. We gotta pay more attention because y'all be on me and my little like opinions and whatever, but the girls really be out here with the fucking shenanigans. And the biggest piece of this that I think is really being understated, I think that sexual assault is like a hot button kind of topic for the internet. So when you hear that, like people go into their like initial outrage mode and then they like, move on to some other story. But I feel like what really needs to be focused on is the drugging, because that's a whole nother level of evil. You get what I'm saying?
So clock what she's saying about the drugging. Again, we have Diddy being accused of putting GHB in baby oil, using ketamine to knock people out. Bill Cosby, even in this most recent case with Mike Jeffries, a lot of those men were drugged as well, given, Viagra, things like that, to keep them hard. So she's not lying. And she was saying this like 3-4 years ago.
I'm not trying to say that one outweighs the other or that sexual assault is like less offensive than drugging somebody, but drugging somebody is a different kind of, like, you gotta have a different kind of mentality to drug someone, because you never know what somebody's system is like. You never know what kind of underlying conditions they have. You never know what kind of medications they're on. You never know, you don't know anything about that person. You like the fact that you will drug someone, it's like poisoning them. And I completely believe that fucking happened, because I seen Alexander Wang in the back room and fucking up and down sniffing ketamine and sniffing coke off them fucking tables back there. They want to sit up here and talk about how, fashion industry doesn't like Azalea Banks and all that other shit. Like, no, I don't like the fashion industry, because that's the type of shit that happens out here. You got little fucking insecure people with a lot of money, and trust me, these people, these fashion designers, these motherfuckers with money, they're not doing regular street drugs, honey, okay? They got coin. They're getting their shit washed, cleaned, cleansed in liquid form, tablet form, dissolve, lozenge, bitch. These bitches are getting they fix, okay? What kind of 2CB, GHB, liquid, odorless, flavorless, colorless, like, yes, honey, yes, it goes down out here on these fucking streets, especially in the dirty 212. It goes down out there.
All right. You just heard her talk about ketamine, GHB, odorless, tasteless. It goes down in NYC. It's so funny because, like I said, that video came out like probably 3-4 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago. And now we see everything coming out with a lot of these deviants. But I don't know how Alexander Wang got back, I guess just like Balenciaga. There was a big uproar with the whole kids and gimp gear and all that stuff, and they're back ripping the runway. So the whole thing is like just really like scary, the stuff that really goes on. And did you hear what she said about a lot of these people are very insecure? They have issues. And what I think happens when people get like this is why people like Harvey Weinstein, Lou Pearlman, he's another fucking big dick deviant, even though he died. Diddy, Mike Jeffries, Lex Wexner, all these people, a lot of them are highly unattractive. Harvey Weinstein, very unattractive. And I don't like to go on people's looks. Yeah, I know I don't do that on my channel. I'm just saying this to make a point. Back to what Azealia Banks was saying, back to what Suge Knight was saying. When you were not that guy or girl, back in the day, growing up, maybe all the pretty girls looked past you because you weren't really cute or you had no swag. A lot of these people end up harboring resentment. And they take out that resentment, that anger, that childhood trauma and baggage that they never let go, and they take it out on other people. That is why they want only pretty people working at Abercrombie and Fitch. That is why Diddy only wants pretty models. And remember, making the band. When they were making Danity Kane, every girl had to look a certain way, body had to be on point, you had to be pretty. Even on TikTok, who gets pushed through the algorithm? Pretty people. So what ends up happening is, what we're going to do behind the scenes, one, you're pretty, so you already have an advantage over, the average looking person. And now I'm going to make you pay for being pretty. I'm going to make you pay for your pretty privilege. For all the suffering I went through, all the girls who didn't like me, all the guys who picked on me. Oh, you're a nice, handsome male model with a nice body. I'm going to break you down. And what way can I break you down to embarrass you and to haunt you for the rest of your life? Sexual. A lot of this stuff is sexual rituals. Remember, 50 Cent said there were tapes being passed around the industry of Cassie getting smashed every which way. Remember Jonathan Odie, the man who shot up the Trump thing, and then he was under investigation. They were doing the interrogation, and he said P. Diddy, Meek Mill, DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, they're all gay. Diddy likes to watch me, have sex with Cassie. A lot of it is a humiliation thing to bring these so-called pretty people down a peg. Oh, you've had it easy your whole life? You were told that you're so cute and you're the best and you have a nice body? Well, now I'm going to treat you like the scum beneath my shoe. This is a very sadistic way, but that's what she's saying about Alexander Wang and other people. To look at Alexander Wang, he looks like he doesn't know if he's coming or going. He's not no tough-looking person. Probably got bullied all through, elementary and junior high. So now that they have a little bit of power, they want to flex it. They think it's okay to just walk up and grab somebody's nuts. And you better not say anything because I'm Alexander Wang. No different than people who might have been bullied or people didn't really care about them in school, then they joined the police force. And because they had that power, a badge and a gun, it goes to their head. Absolute power corrupts if you don't know how to handle it and you don't know how to manage it. And I believe that's what's happened with a lot of these people. The money, the fame, and the power went to their head, and they decided instead of being good people and looking at that as a blessing, I'm going to punish those who wouldn't mess with me in any other circumstance. They know nobody wants to feel like they're being used. And they know that a lot of these women would not pay them any mind if they were Harvey Weinstein, the sandwich shop maker. If he was Diddy, the man that worked at Old Navy, you wouldn't look at him twice. Because he's Diddy the mogul, they know a lot of people will be willing to throw common sense out the window just to be in his space. And a lot of these men and women, they have a resentment. That's why when you look at a lot of these guys who are deviants, they're very unattractive, almost demonic looking. I'm sorry. Mike Jeffries is ugly as hell. Harvey Weinstein, ugly as hell. But they have power. And they know, I might be ugly, but you'll get down here and suck me off and let everybody in here run a train on you. because you want to be in this space. So it's very scary. It's very, very scary. Let me see here. I think I got that. I'm just going through my little list of stuff. How long I've been out here? An hour? Okay. Okay, let me read some of these super chats here. Let me read some of these super chats. Okay, Bree said 1999 says, hey T and my Discord family. Hey Bree, thank you for tapping in, sis. Kitty the Jackson sent a super sticker. She says, how's it going? Thank you, Kitty. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Shy B sent $50. Says, hey T, hope you're doing well today. I am. Thank you for checking in with me. Let's see here. Bria Main sent 200 in Thailand, Bangkok money. She says, you look great, T, watching you live from Bangkok. It is 6:28 a.m. here. I can't miss the tea. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, sis. This is super early there. It's like, what, 7:32? So y'all are almost like 12 hours ahead. Well, have fun in Bangkok. That sounds like a nice little trip right there. Let's see here. LMW75 says, Big Money Green, love you. Thank you for going live, T. You are more than welcome. Thank you for tapping in. Aaron says, 18 months. Love you, Auntie. Thank you for keeping us updated. Definitely. Thank you, Aaron. I'm sorry if I butcher your name. Quadiria? I hope I said that somewhat right. Says, hey, T, you look great. I'm expecting my first baby on Halloween. Please send well wishes. Congratulations and good luck on your delivery. That is awesome. So that's like in just a few days, the baby's going to be here. So good luck with everything and thank you. Let's see here. Brown Girl says, hey, T, you look beautiful and you're wearing my favorite color. Ooh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Mademoiselle Antoine sent 5, says, back in the 2000s when I was in high school, the Abercrombie campaign was shockingly racist with clear instances of racial discrimination. Yes, they definitely had the people they wanted for their campaigns. You're so right about that. Nivea Hudson sent $9.99, says, I used to work at Hollister and my mom's Abercrombie was shut down for sexual harassment claims. Then the documentary came out and we were told not to talk about it. Damn. That's crazy. Thank you for the super chat, love. Shelly J says, the Abercrombie CEO doesn't surprise me. The whole thing about if you weren't pretty, you couldn't work there goes hand in hand for me. Yeah. And that's the thing that's always funny. It's like, again, the most basic looking people who want to discriminate against other basic looking people. Like, I could see if he was a supermodel. He's not by any stretch of the imagination, but got the nerve to create this whole culture of only pretty people can work here. If he was to go and apply to Abercrombie store, they would probably rip up his application in his face. Like, how dare you? Oh my God, I had to clutch my invisible damn pearls. How dare your ugly ass come in here and apply? Bitch, you got one eye up here and one eye down here. If you don't get your ass up out the store, I'm just saying that's how he'd have been treated. But got the nerve to only want pretty people to work in his store and you look the way that you look. Bitch, the nerve, honey. The nerve. It's crazy. Let's see here. TJ says, not to sound like a creep, but the green on girls have me mesmerized. Okay. All right. Thank you for the super chat. Leisha Lane sent $9.99. She sent a sticker. Thank you so much, Lisa. Not Your Average Brother sent $9.99. Says, hey, T, just wanted to thank you for going live. I'm loving the green. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat, love. Lashana Monique sent $9.99. Says, I used to work for 3 of their brands and even met Mike Jeffries at one point. He would fire everyone in the store for being unattractive. I heard the rumors. Wow. Imagine the nerve and the audacity to walk in looking the way he looks and got the nerve to fire somebody. Oh, I wish I worked there. They wouldn't have hired my black ass, but it couldn't have been me. No, I refuse to get fired over looks, and he looks the way he do. We would have been boxing. I need my check, bitch. You couldn't work here, and you got the nerve to come in here and start trying to fire people? He should have been boxed right outside of Abercrombie and Fitch. All the dudes who got fired should have went head up with his ass. I mean, it's insane. That's crazy. Let's see here. Smooth Artist says, gay men competing against women for straight men. Ooh-wee. Thank you for the super chat. Let's see here. Keisha sent $9.99 says, cup of tea on me tea because these big D deviants and pink deviants got you working overtime. Love from Cali. Thank you so much. I'm telling you, these deviants are insane. We got Madam Carisha, who's a big pussy deviant. Now we got Big Peen deviant Diddy. It's insane the way this rabbit hole goes. A4 says, T, you should watch the documentary on fashion mogul Peter Nagard, caught unseemly, the investigation of Peter Nagard. Oh, I talked about him probably 2 years ago. I did a deep dive called Forever Young, and I hit on Peter Nagard. Very, very sick individual. That's why I believe all these people are tied in together. Every last one of them. You don't get to that space, that billionaire space, being a good person. He was literally harvesting black women's eggs. He's a sicko. He is. But yeah, I know the documentary you're talking about. We talked about it on Discord and everything. Lexi Michelle says, hey T, today's my birthday. I've been watching your videos since college in 2015. You are the best to ever do it. Thank you so much and happy birthday to you. What are we in? I think it's Scorpio season. Shout out to all the Scorpios, child. I think Libra season's officially over, so Scorpio season. Let's see here. Blatino Boy sent 5 says, hey T, how you doing? I wouldn't be surprised if Calvin Klein also has some tea on trafficking their models. I'm also looking at you, Balenciaga. Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, the fashion industry goes hand in hand with the entertainment industry. Even when you think about a lot of these runway shows, like when we were younger and we watched the runway shows with like Naomi Campbell and what was it, like they used to call them the Holy Trinity. Remember, it was like Naomi Campbell, Christina Evangelista, what's the other one with the mole, Cindy Crawford. Remember, these bitches said they wouldn't get out of bed for under $1 million. They was making so much money back then. But one thing I will say about the runway shows back in the 90s, they were lighthearted. Lots of color, fashion. I remember Tupac walked the runway show for Versace. The hell's not a model. But they were more lighthearted back then. Now when you see these runway shows, they're so dark. They're very dark. Especially like Balenciagas. It's very like dystopian. It's like, am I looking at clothes or am I looking at the end of the world? Like, what the hell? People walking around in trash bags and, you know, it's just really weird. The industry has gotten extremely dark. Oh, yeah, Christy Turlington. She was another one. Very beautiful. Kate Moss was all right. I didn't understand the Kate Moss hype. She was only like 5'7". I'm like, who was she fucking to get in the industry? I was never impressed by Kate Moss and the whole heroin chic thing. Not, shade. I just wasn't impressed by her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really like Cindy Crawford, before Naomi, before I got woke about Naomi and her bullshit. I liked it, Naomi. I love Tyra Banks. You know what I'm saying? But I was never really that impressed by Kate Moss. Just my personal opinion. Yeah, she was like the Chrissy Teigen of our era. Like, Chrissy Teigen, like, how did you get into modeling? Chrissy Teigen's she's like 5'7". She's built like a box. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand how she got into like high fashion modeling. She doesn't have like the typical high fashion model, like runway. So I don't know. I feel like some of these people were just like picked. Somebody said Kate Moss looked like she belonged in an ad for Feed the Children. Yeah, I didn't get it. Claudia Schiffer, she was beautiful. I liked it, Claudia Schiffer. Kimora Lee, she was doing her thing back. She was so young though, but she was doing her thing. Brooke Shields was always beautiful from the time she was a girl, from the time she was a little girl. But the disturbing thing with Brooke Shields, and I believe I had exposed that when I did my Playboy documentary, she used to pose nude as a child. Because again, back then, anything went. There was no protective measures. There was a whole magazine back then, back in like the 70s, early 80s. It was almost like Vixen for children. And these were like young girls. They were prepubescent girls. You couldn't be over the age of, I believe, 15. They were 15 and under. And they'd be in there in various states of undress. These were real magazines back in the day. Very disturbing. So yeah, I believe Brooke Shields went through a lot. She went through a lot. Very, very beautiful girl. You know, but I believe she went through a lot. And who was the other one? She played a prostitute. What was it? Some taxi movie. I can't think of who that actress was. If y'all know who I'm talking about, y'all can write it in here. I think she went through a lot too. Jodie Foster. Thank you. Who is that? Who wrote that? Tasty Cake. Yes, Jodie Foster. She's another one. I believe she went through a lot too in the industry. Yeah. Let's see here. Miss Melanated says, I'm an SA survivor. If you feel violated when someone breaks into your house, how would you feel if it was your body? Stop blaming the victims. Exactly. Thank you so much for that, for the super chat and for what you said. It's the truth. And sometimes, you know, it just, sometimes a lot of things people just take to the grave with them because they've been through so much trauma. And so I'm all for people speaking out. I don't care if it's 50 years later. You don't know how that one incident affects people their whole life. So I feel no sympathy for Bill Cosby and all those women that came out 50 years later. This fool was married. You're telling people they should live their life a certain way, and you're not living it. Just like when we talked about Andrew Tate in the last stream. He wants to talk about all this haram and, you know, he's Muslim now and all this bullshit. Oh, you a Muslim now. No more dope game, huh? He's not living traditional. Both his mamas are selling cooch on OnlyFans, but got the nerve to talk down to women who have their own OnlyFans pages. Got the nerve to sit there and call young men who are looking up to him simps. It's insane. So none of these people get a pass. And that's what really pissed me off with the Terry Crews situation. Y'all know I had Terry Crews' back. As soon as it came out and he busted out Adam Levine, and you had D.L. Hughley and people saying, oh, well, it couldn't have been me. Ain't no way in hell. You a big black man, you just let somebody grab you? Do you understand, like, that is when things happen when you least expect it, when you're in a situation, and then you got to think to yourself, you know, what do you do? Like, this person is touching me, they're making me uncomfortable, but then if I snap, I'm the angry black man or angry black woman. Like, I totally understood what Terry Crews was going through in that moment. Because that's the same way I felt when I was taking that picture. I'm having to smile in the picture, and the whole time this man is like literally touching me and feeling on me. But then I'm scared, like if I say something, they're gonna be like, oh, she's on some diva shit. Who does she think she is? You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff goes through your mind. So sometimes, like I say, you just eat it and you just keep it pushing. I'm glad he finally came out and talked about it. He literally crossed so a lot of these mofos could run. Because the way Terry Crews was treated, he should have several people apologizing to him. It was disgusting how a lot of black men treated that man. And then stupid ass Russell Simmons had the nerve to send him an email on behalf of Adam Levine, whatever the hell his name is, talking about, you shouldn't, maybe y'all can talk it out. I can facilitate a meeting. And he blasted Russell Simmons. Who remembers that? Put a teacup. Remember, he blasted Russell Simmons and said, no one gets a pass. Do not email me speaking on behalf of Adam Levine. Russell Simmons should be ashamed of himself. But again, he's a big dick deviant too. So of course he had no problem emailing him, trying to silence him. Another weirdo. Let's see here. Drea, hope I said that right, says, hey T, just had a long day at work. Seeing you go live made my day a lot better. Thank you for all you do. You are so welcome. Thank you so much for checking in. Day 5 sent $9.99 says, I am a Gen X, and an ex-coworker of mine who is Gen X too saw me in Walmart and felt my ass. I was shocked and stood there for like 30 seconds. To this day, I wish I had reported to HR. Yeah, and that's usually what happens. You know, when somebody does something like that to you, when you're not expecting it, you go into a state of shock where you don't even know how to compute it and you don't even realize what's going on initially. And then you're trying to almost argue with yourself, like, did I do something? Were my pants too tight? Did I maybe brush against that person? And then finally you come to the realization, no, you didn't do anything. This person's a freaking weirdo. So I'm sorry you went through that. Let's see here. Valerie Moses says, my mom worked 2 and 3 jobs, no dad at home with 2 girls to raise. I was a surrogate mother to my younger sister. The 90s and early 2000s were hell. Girl, you ain't never lied. A lot of us had to be parents to our younger brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? Because our parents had to work. So when kids are left to their own devices, you roam around. You get caught up in stuff. So, yeah, it's crazy. Shy B Sentence says, T, I went to that other channel to watch the breakdown about Andrew Tate. I was shook. Yeah, they emailed me too. They want me to like interview with them or something like that. I got to think about it because y'all know I don't do interviews. Like I don't really do interviews. Like I don't get interviewed. You know what I mean? But they did email me. They seem really nice. So maybe I will do something or a collab because I really like their stuff. I think that they did a great job, great research. I definitely respect their stuff. Common sense skeptic. So I just haven't replied back yet. I'm kind of shy when people email me about like interviews and all that stuff. So sometimes I just don't even reply back, chat. I'm like, oh no. Because I like staying in my own little bubble. So, but I'll see though. I do like their work. I like their work a lot. So I'm glad you got a chance to go and watch, you know, what they put out there. Because they put a lot of work into their videos and I respect them. Dexter Davis, what's up, Dexter? He says, as a millennial, we went through a lot of shit. A lot of shit went on back in the day that made me strong today. Looking good in green tea. Hit the like button, y'all. Thank you so much. Yeah, we got over 10,000 people in here. Please hit the like button. If you guys are enjoying the stream, please hit the like button. Let's see here. Malaya Nimjabang. Sorry if I mispronounced this. Said, did you hit on Heidi Klum and her daughter doing that weird underwear ad? No, I haven't seen it. Let me Google. I haven't seen it. I haven't really checked for Heidi in a while, but I know this is her season. You know, she likes Halloween. She's always wearing some weird Halloween costume. Why does my thing keep crashing? Let me Google and see. Heidi Klum underwear. Let's see what comes up. What the hell?
Heidi Klum.
I didn't even know Lainey was that old. Okay, let's watch this together. I had no idea Lainey was that old. Huh. Let's watch this. Give me just a second.
And her daughter Lainey Klum are facing backlash for posing together in another lingerie campaign. The two models wore various sets of underwear and were seen smiling and laughing in photos, promoting Intimissime's fall-winter collection, which the brand posted on Instagram. The duo also filmed a video where they took turns using an old camera to record each other showing off their curves in the lingerie and feeling the fabric on each other's lace sets. Intimissimi captioned the clip, "Lace that flatters, support that empowers. From generation to generation, #Intimissimi celebrates every facet of femininity." Lainey also posted photos from the shoot on her Instagram account. Meanwhile, Heidi raved about having so much fun shooting the campaign with her eldest child. Heidi has long had her comments disabled on her Instagram posts, but both Lainey and Intimacy received criticism over the snaps of their respective pages. Weird as hell to do this with your mom, one user commented, with another saying in part, "Am I the only one thinking this is a bit weird?" However, others came to Heidi's and Lainey's defense and argued that they were simply showing their close relationship by working together. "They are just modeling. They're not making out. Mother and daughter modeling for the same brand," one person wrote, with another fan gushing in part saying, "Beautiful, and I don't understand the comments who say it's weird to do this with your mom, because to me, this is just a mother and daughter who are like best friends. Love it." You may remember Heidi and Lainey have collaborated.
Okay. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I get it, you know, like you're modeling with your daughter, but why not model clothes? Like, how about y'all model like matching outfits, or, you know, like it's kind of weird to to model like lingerie with your mom. Like, I get it, you know, her mom's a supermodel, but I do see that as kind of weird. That was like when Erykah Badu and her daughter were posed with their ass to the camera, and I'm just like, y'all know I stay out of the whole conversation with girl moms because y'all always cuss me out like, you don't know, you're a boy mom. But everybody who had daughters said they wouldn't pose with their daughter like that. So I don't know. Hollywood is just weird. I don't, you know, my thing is, first of all, Heidi, you had your era. Let your daughter just do her thing. If she wants to get into modeling, let her model. Like, your mom wasn't in none of your shoots growing up. And that's the issue that I have with a lot of people. A lot of these older celebrities, it's like they don't want to give up like their celebrity. They want to still be in the limelight, as opposed to stepping back and just, you know, allowing your daughter to have her shine. I'm going to pose in here with you too. Just like Dusty Diddy and his kids. He got to still be in the track. He got to be in Christian's music, whatever his name is, Christian's music videos. Why? It just doesn't make any sense. But if they want to pose together in underwear, child, that's on them. It's weird, but that's my first time seeing it, so thank you for the tea. I didn't even know about that. Oh, Unique T says, T, could you please review Blink twice? I finally watched it, because y'all been telling me for like the past 2 weeks. I watched it the night before last. It was a very interesting movie. It was very interesting. And it was very crazy, the parts where she would have flashbacks. It kind of lets you know what those drugs do to you. Because I remember as I'm watching, I'm like, why is everybody getting bruised up? What is happening here? The one dude had a black eye. The one girl, you know, that ended up being her friend had a bruise on her arm. And it's like, as the days went on, the bruises were getting bigger and bigger. Like, that movie was a trip. It was a trip. I definitely feel like there is some truth to it. You know, and again, people get so mesmerized by the thought of celebrity. This is somebody she's been watching and being a fan of. So when this person randomly picks her out of, you know, all these people to come to, you know, on vacation, people don't think twice. So I really liked it. I thought it was a very good movie. The ending was a bit over the top, though. Like, y'all just killed everybody? Oh, okay. It was a bit over the top, the ending, but I thought it was a good movie. I did enjoy it. Somebody said, don't tell me no more. Yeah, I'm not going to say no more. Y'all go ahead and watch it. I don't think I spoiled it, though, but I tried not to, child. Somebody says, look into, okay, Cherry Berry Sin 499 says, look into Zach Posen's relationship with Diddy. I don't even know who Zach Posen is. Let me Google. Who is Zach? Oh, this white dude. Posen goes from hipster to hip hop with Diddy. Looks like he's been around since 2004, running behind Diddy, child. Oh, a dynamic fusion of music and fashion. Huh. Let me show y'all who he is. But I got to do more research. I don't want to talk about it because I don't even know this man or their connection. But here's an article here. Hold on. Okay. So this article is saying Diddy and Zach posing a dynamic fusion, of music and fashion. Diddy and Zach are two iconic names in their respective industries, music and fashion, who've not only achieved great success individually, but also collaborated in ways that have pushed the boundaries of creativity and style. Huh. Okay, I'm going to have to look more into their connection, but being that this has to do with the fashion industry, I would not be shocked. Because there's another connection I made. Matter of fact, since we're talking about Diddy connections, I got to look more into that, so I'm not going to talk about the whole Zach Posen thing because I don't know their connection. But here's another connection that's very interesting. Okay, we did that one. Okay, so you know how I said that there's a connection between Lex Wexner and Mike Jeffries. They had the Abercrombie and Fitch and the L brand, Victoria's Secret's connection. Well, another person who's tied to them is, hold on, where's his name? The Brofmans. So, and they're the ones who run the Seagram, the alcohol industry, the Seagram industry. So if you guys do not know, the Brofman, here goes an article, one of these old articles I found. This is the daddy, and he's very much connected, and I'm going to also show you how Diddy also plays a part in this. Okay. So Brofman's links to Epstein and Wexner, and this came out in like 2019, this article. I'm not going to read everything, just I'm trying to find a bit here. So even here they're saying, I found out that Robert Maxwell knew Epstein as a business colleague before Ghislaine Maxwell, his daughter, ever met Epstein. Of course, not going to ignore both Epstein and NXIVM were deeply involved in sex trafficking. That was their primary. So this is the father here. That's with Bill Clinton. Remember, 2 years ago, maybe going on 3 years now, in 2020, so going on like 4 years, the daughter was popped. Who put a teacup if y'all remember this? The Seagram heiress, Claire Bronfman. Remember? She was with NXIVM. And so she was doing like all types of, NXIVM ended up being a whole cult. And she was doing all this crazy stuff to lure girls into NXIVM. And it ended up being like a sex trafficking situation. And so she was sentenced to 81 months. Like this was like a huge story in 2020. Y'all remember this story? Okay. This was huge. The NXIVM leader was Keith Raniere. So here goes just some of what they said. Prosecutors said that Bronfman recruited Jane Doe 12 from Mexico to work for a NXIVM affiliated company, submitting documents supporting to hire the woman with a salary of $3,600 per month in order to secure a work visa for her. However, according to prosecutors, Brofman only paid Jane Doe 12 approximately $4,000 over the course of more than a year and told her that she would have to earn her visa by doing additional uncompensated work when the victim asked to be paid a living wage. Brofman also used the credit card of a dead woman who used to be partners with NXIVM leader Keith Raniere in order to keep the money and assets of his name to evade paying income taxes, according to prosecutors. This NXIVM case was very deep and very demonic. And this is a woman whose father is a billionaire. She's a daughter of a billionaire. So what's very interesting, I found this connection out a while back. Now here goes another article. Ghislaine Maxwell and Claire Boffman, a tale of two heiresses and the men who dominated their life. She was the female procurer for Jeffrey Epstein, and Claire was that for Keith Raniere in Nexum. And both of their fathers knew each other, had a connection with Jeffrey Epstein, who had a connection with Lex Wexner, who had a connection with Mark Jeffries. Now, where Diddy comes into all this, if you guys do not know, go ahead and pull this up. Trying to find it. Hold on. Oop. Ah, is this one? Nope. Hold on. I got so many pages open. That ain't it. I just had it. I thought I had it on here. All right, let me. Here it is. Ah, here we go. I gotta pull up this paywall. Hold on, because I'm tired of all these paywalls. Hold up. All right. Here we go. It was locked behind a paywall, but you know, I'm gonna do some things. All right. So this is it. So this is what's really interesting with this situation. If y'all do not know, is, oh, it's not letting me show it all. Basically, Diddy, let's see if I can pull up this other, okay. Let me show y'all this page. Diddy will lean on Nexium cult leaders' lawyers for freak-off defense. Did y'all realize that his Temu lawyer is also the same lawyer that was attached to the whole situation with Claire Boffman? Mark Aganifilio. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Oh, trust me, I'm gonna research and make some connections, okay? Yeah, the Temu lawyer is the same one that defended Claire. So isn't it funny that somebody who's claiming to be innocent runs to go get the lawyer who defended a billionaire in a sex trafficking case? I'm just saying. And also Tenny Garagos, Mark Garagos' daughter. So yeah, it's going to get really interesting. He's going to have his hands full. So now, before I go, because I've been on here for an hour and a half, I got to talk about Quincy. I don't know, but it's something about Quincy. I'm starting to give him the side eye. I try to give him the benefit of the doubt. You know, he may have been brainwashed by Diddy. You know, Al B. Sure wasn't in his life. But something about Quincy is starting to give me the creeps, okay? Even though he was in that video, and maybe I should have been peeped because he was in the video with the little white girl, Ava, who, as soon as Diddy asks her to introduce herself, she says, I'm Ava, I'm a Scorpio. What child starts with their zodiac sign? I didn't even know what zodiacs were when I was her age. So Quincy's been doing a lot of suspect stuff. The daddy already gets the side eye from me because he loves throwing rocks and then hiding his hands. So y'all know how I feel about Al B. Sure. But Quincy, I don't know what's going on with him, but I'm starting to give him the side eye. So the other day, let me mute this down. The other day he took to Instagram to issue a heartfelt statement in support of his father. Him and I guess all 7 kids, even though the Asian baby probably don't even know what's going on, but okay. So let me go ahead and pull this up. Quincy is starting to get the side eye from me. There's something about him that just, I don't know. It's getting weird. So this is what he wrote on Instagram. He says, The past month has devastated our family. Many have judged both him and us based on accusations, conspiracy theories, and false narratives that have spiraled into absurdity on social media. We stand united, supporting you every step of the way. We hold on to the truth, knowing it will prevail. Nothing will break the strength of our family. We miss you and love you, Dad. Objection. Shut the fuck up, Quincy. First and foremost, you over here talking about, conspiracies. Was it a conspiracy when your daddy was kicking Cassie down the hall like a damn football? Was that a conspiracy? Was that a figment of my imagination? Or did your daddy put hands and feet on her like she was a grown-ass man? Like, what are you talking about? Yes, some of the stories may be over the top, but a lot of these stories also have validity. So I don't like the fact, like, I get if you want to support your father in private. All this taking to social media, writing Dear John letters, we don't care. And this was my response to it. Y'all know me, I don't give a damn about none of this shit. I wrote, yawning on that ass. And then funny enough, so he wrote this Dear John letter, disabled the comments because he didn't want to hear anybody's opinion, and then proceeded to release this the next day. This is why I'm now giving him the side eye. Something with this situation is not right. So he released this trailer the next day. When I tell you social media has been lighting his ass up, we're going to watch this real quick.
You have to leave. You're annoying.
Good. ETA on the way. ETA on the way.
ETA what? On the way.
Believe that. It's just like yours.
Right now I got $4.6 million.
Well,
not after this moment.
Kind of.
Instagram new update. Thank you.
I'll take your bitch with this bandana, boy.
They don't get it.
Are you sure?
It's actually never as it seems.
A car that don't got no drama, right? Nah, son, look, son.
I'm always doing something.
What's up, man?
Always.
Oh, I'm dropping 2. ETA on the way.
And that's what makes this life a journey.
Home family vacation.
Get on my frequency. It's just a vlog. My life.
Imagine your daddy in jail right now, being accused of the most horrendous stuff. From R-ing a 9-year-old to a 13-year-old to men, women. And you got the nerve. Like, you really think this is the right time for you to put out a damn YouTube docuseries on your family with your daddy in the background? How about you go back to your biological father and simmer down somewhere before your name starts popping up in these lawsuits? Because now I'm starting to give him the side eye. Something ain't right. And a lot of people was dragging him. The Root was talking about this. A lot of people were not happy. This article came out today on The Root. Diddy's son created a reality show about his family drama, but some fans say he needs to sit down. He definitely does. This is how you know the money's not moneying. Because with his father going through everything he's going through, they really need to sit the hell down. These boys are damn near 30. Justin is 30. Quincy is 30. Christian is what, 27 now? So damn near 30. And they're running around acting like they're 18 years old. It doesn't make any sense. Trying to see some of the comments they had on here. Somebody said it's a PR thing to make him look like a family man. They probably did this on purpose, knowing this was coming. Yeah, I think at this point, his kids are very complicit in this. Well, not all his kids, but these 3 boys. Because, again, their father's facing serious accusations. And they know, for the most part, people have been giving Quincy leeway and grace. Especially being that he's Kim Porter's, child or whatever. We don't care about Christian because Christian has been named in the lawsuit. He's being accused of, essay and rape. So Christian can miss me. So I think that's why they have Quincy. They're using him as a puppet to write these statements, talking about we love you and we miss you, Dad. And then now Quincy's the one to promote this show. And they're trying to do this as like a PR spin to make it look like, oh, he's a loving father. Well, two things can be right at once. I'm sure he's a loving father. I'm sure he's a great father to his children. But just because you're a good parent to your children, that doesn't mean anything when it comes to how you treat other people's children. Because Cassie has a mom and dad. These victims have parents. And he didn't care about other people's children. So at this point, I'm giving Quincy the side eye. I'm no longer giving him grace. He's a weirdo. I don't agree with this at all. And so now there is supposed, again, this is alleged. I don't have super duper receipts, but the man, Sean Atwood, that I talked about last week, he interviewed another gentleman who said that he got leaked calls from Diddy's jailhouse. And so this is being leaked on social media. Again, I don't know with 100% certainty if this is real or if this is AI generated. Okay? I'm just showing y'all the tea of what's trending right now on social media. But before we get to the phone calls, I want to play this real quick because Diddy is being accused of assaulting another man at the party, and he's saying that a pro athlete is the one who stopped Diddy from going all the way with him. So we're going to watch this really quick before we listen to the phone clip. So give me just a second here. We got over 11,000 people in here. Please hit the like button.
Sean Diddy Combs is being accused of sexually assaulting a man who claims the alleged attack only stopped because of the intervention of a professional athlete. In a civil complaint against the rapper filed October 20th, the man, who filed under the anonymous alias John Doe, alleges that the incident occurred in 2022 during a Ciroc vodka party in Los Angeles, which was attended by several high-profile celebrities. The petitioner, described in the lawsuit as the owner of a family business specializing in renting luxury cars and jewelry, said he was invited to the event by Diddy, who had been a frequent client of his. Upon his arrival, the plaintiff saw, quote, many high-profile guests, but was instructed by Combs to meet him at his office for a private talk. The lawsuit, obtained by E! News, reads, quote, plaintiff immediately realized Combs was intoxicated and acting strangely. The filing reads further, quote, Diddy is then accused of removing his pants and exposing his genitals to the plaintiff before grabbing the plaintiff's own genitals and squeezing them in a rough and sexual manner. The complaint reads the plaintiff, quote, did not know how to respond to the weirdly inappropriate sexual advance made by Combs. According to the lawsuit, the situation escalated until an unnamed professional athlete entered the office and intervened. The plaintiff says he suffered significant emotional distress and trauma as a result of the alleged incident, and he's suing Diddy for compensatory and punitive damages. The 54-year-old music mogul is facing an upcoming federal trial for alleged sex trafficking, racketeering, and using transportation to engage in prostitution. Diddy, who has pleaded not guilty to his federal charges, is currently being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. While behind bars, he's also facing multiple civil lawsuits containing allegations of rape and sexual assault. In response to the accusations, including the new ones from John Doe, Diddy's attorney referred E! News to their October 1st statement, which reads, quote, in court, the truth will prevail that Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted anyone, adult or minor, man or woman.
I don't believe nothing they say. So now, I don't know if you guys heard this, but there's also audio going around. Again, I don't know if it's AI generated or if it's real, but I'm just telling y'all what's trending on Twitter. So there's also audio going around that basically Diddy is smashing, is it Bad Bunny? Yeah, right. It's the Latino artist. Child, I get them all mixed up, honey. Go ahead, write his name in the chat. But he's crying. Somebody's ramming something up this person's wahoo. Bad Bunny? Okay, it was very disturbing audio. If you thought the Meek Mill audio with me talking about her, that was crazy. This Bad Bunny one, it's very disturbing. It's like he's crying, and Diddy's like, yeah, yup, you want it like that? It's just weird. It's just really gross. I'm not gonna play it, but it's on Twitter if you're interested. if you're interested. Again, I don't know if it's real or if it's AI generated, but it's very, very. Somebody said, "Ay caramba." I can't stand you. Not ay caramba. Oh, y'all are messy. Somebody said, "Ay caramba." Oh my gosh. Again, I don't know if it's 100% real. All I know is that they're saying it's Bad Bunny and Diddy, child. We know they're both, bisexual. So, the hell. It's a lot going on in them Twitter streets. I just be trying to mind my business. So now let's go ahead and listen to the phone call here of Diddy. This is the so-called leaked phone call. So give me just a second to pull this up here. And again, I don't know if it's 100% factual, AI generated, but I just want y'all to listen to this phone call. It's a trip.
I ain't worth nothing. Ain't got shit in my name anymore. Don't even worry about it. Bunch of money hungry.
Justin said, what should he do about his whip, though?
Man, the fuck is you talking about? You don't see this shit I'm dealing with right now?
I know, Bob. I told his stupid ass.
Hey, yo, check this out. Tell his light-skinned ass to go make a club appearance or something. Motherfucker, make some money. You 30 years old and shit. Hey, your own fucking car. Hey.
I told him drop some music. I'm about to drop a new track this week. Everybody want to hear what my sound like.
Man, we're not doing that shit. Y'all need to stay quiet.
Hot, I could rap though. We got attention right now.
Man, just do what the I told you to do. And don't forget about the list. Make sure that shit is fucking signed.
Alright.
Okay, that was just one of the phone calls. There's like 3 that have leaked. Now, let me say this. In this one, that was Christian. He's like, oh, Justin's car got took. And Diddy's like, what the hell you want me to do about it? He's 30 years old. He needs to figure out how to get some money. Then Christian's like, well, I'm thinking about dropping some new music. I'm thinking about dropping a music video. And Diddy's saying, no, don't do that. Y'all need to lay low. Now, I can see that low-key being a real conversation, right? But then when I went further down this phone call rabbit hole, then there's an audio where he's like, where's Jay-Z? I still ain't heard from Jay-Z. And then Christian is like, no, everybody's just, laying low. So I'm just like, that kind of was suspect to me. Because why would he purposely mention Jay-Z's name when everybody's been trying to attach him to Jay-Z? That's the part that makes me feel like it's AI. Then he goes on to start talking about pizza. And he's telling Christian, get rid of the pizza boxes. Meaning, if you guys know anything about conspiracies and you've been around the block, we all know about Pizzagate. So I thought that was kind of weird that he would be talking about pizza. So that's why I feel like I don't believe that this audio is 100% factual. I believe that this is AI generated until, the lawyer or somebody else comes out and confirms it. I'm not buying it. I'm taking it with a grain of salt. Because like I said, as the audio went on, it's kind of like, okay, of all the things he could say, he said pizza. Well, the conspiracy theorists are going to run wild with that. So it was almost like too much sauce on the chicken. I was cool with this first conversation. Him cussing out Justin's old ass and saying, go get a job. What he want me to do about that? I got enough on my plate. I can't worry about his car getting repossessed. That was very much realistic. Because as a parent, that's how you would talk if you have a grown child. But the other stuff, I felt like they was adding too much sauce to the chicken. So just my opinion. I think it's probably more than likely AI generated. But that's one of the audios that's also going around social media on top of the Bad Bunny clip. Which is disturbing as hell. So I think I've hit on everything. Let me see, make sure. Yeah, I think I got everything that I wanted to hit on with this situation. And I've been out here for 2 hours. Yeah, I definitely hit on everything. I'm going to read these last few super chats. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. Let's see here. Brooke Shields was okay. So Miss JL says Brooke Shields was underage in Pretty Baby and Blue Lagoon, kissing a grown man. Yeah, they definitely were doing a lot of stuff to her in the industry, which is extremely sad. But unfortunately, again, that's how it was back then. You know, people didn't have any power, and these parents, all they see is money and stardom. Let's see here. Josephine sent $9.99, says, "Hey T, can you give my boyfriend a birthday shout out? His name is Basharu. Love you and leave a like." Well, happy birthday to Basharu. I hope I'm saying your name right. Scorpio season. Enjoy your day. And shout out to your girlfriend for, for the birthday shout out. So I hope you get some good, cake and ice cream for his birthday, girl. Ain't nothing like some birthday. I'm just saying. Sorry. I'm just trying to get you some, Basharu, okay? I'm just trying to hook you up, brother. Go ahead and hook him up for his birthday, okay? Oh, let's see here. Lena sent $4.99, says, "I worked for Victoria's Secrets under the L brands for years. We also were only hired if we fit a certain look and aesthetic. Very strange looking back at it." Yeah. And, and it's funny now how times have changed. Now they want to do all this equity and inclusion and, we want to celebrate all body types and stuff. Shut the hell up. That's because ain't nobody trying to work for y'all no more. See, this generation, y'all got social media. Y'all can be TikTokers. Y'all can just sit all day and, create content. So a lot of this generation, they just want to be making content. They don't want to work at Abercrombie and Fitch or Victoria's Secrets. So now when you go to Victoria's Secrets, you see a plus size woman working behind the register that you wouldn't have seen a few years ago. So now, they've had to kind of fall back on a lot of these stringent rules because a lot of people don't want to work for these brands. So, yeah, it's sad that it was once like that. Let's see here. Y'all know I'm a mess, child. I was trying to get him some birthday. Honey. Let's see here. Fitness and Foolishness sent $10, says, "Sorry to be slightly off topic. Gene Deal may not have said the stuff about the bottles, but he did say he drove minor Usher to the hospital after Diddy busted his bottom up, then went back to work." Ooh. Child. Well, I don't know. I had to listen to that particular audio. I've heard a lot of different things about Usher, and I've also heard that Usher was the one who in turn gave JB to Diddy as well. So I'll have to listen to that particular audio. I haven't heard that, so I don't want to speak on it because last time I spoke on chat, I got drugs. So I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to have to look into that deeper. But thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Dial Before Brandon sent $9.99, says, "Hey T, did you happen to see the soft white underbelly interview of the lady who went to the Diddy party? She spoke on how the sons were recruiting women for him." Yes. Matter of fact, I put her clip in my latest video that I just did the other day about when I was breaking down the lawsuits. I had her in that clip. So I did get a chance to watch it, and I very much believe that his sons were recruiting girls for him. I definitely believe that. Like I said before, Justin at one point was with Lori Harvey, and then Diddy was with Lori Harvey. Like that to me is sick. Why are we sharing girls when Lori is young enough to be his daughter? So I definitely believe that he was using his sons to procure young girls because young girls are going to come because they're around Justin and Christian's age and Quincy's age. All three of them are handsome young men. So, of course, that's going to bring in young girls. And then, unfortunately, then that gives the daddy the green light to pounce. So I definitely believe that they were more involved. And I think this is why Quincy might be trying really hard to act like, oh, he was the best father ever. And, oh, these are conspiracies. I would not be shocked if he ends up being named in something soon enough. So I just wouldn't be shocked. Let's see here. I think I got everybody. Ryan sent $4.99. He says, "I don't think Lex Wexner at 87 years old will be charged. The Ohio State Hospital is named after him. He's the top donor at the Children's Hospital. Oh yeah, he got long money. He's a billionaire. But I think it's probably going to end up like how Hugh Hefner did. Remember when all the tea was starting to come out during the Me Too movement, and I don't really like Holly, the Playboy bunny, the Playboy Playmates, Holly Madison. I'm not a fan of hers because for years she defended Hugh, and y'all can be like, oh, you know, she only did that to save herself. She's just a weirdo. I felt like once she was too old and he kicked her to the curb, then she wanted to be a whistleblower. But growing up as a child in the 90s and 2000s, these women were very arrogant. They would call you jealous and say you're just mad that you're not living the life that we're living and everybody's hating and everybody's jealous. Well, I don't want to hear it now that you're washed up. Now you want to come out with all these A&E documentaries exposing Hugh Hefner because you weren't trying to do it when he was alive and healthy. It's easy to do something when somebody dies. So I'm not a big fan of, yeah, thank you. You remember that, Amber. She promoted that whole lifestyle. She had all types of young girls want to be Playboy Playmates. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like she has ulterior motives. She's washed. Nobody's checking for her. So it's very easy now to spill the tea. But what ended up happening with Hugh Hefner, once people started mentioning his name, and was saying, y'all need to start digging into the Playboy bunny situation because if y'all going to dig into Bill Cosby, who taught Bill Cosby this degeneracy? Because remember, there's always a teacher. It's usually a white industry person. And so people were saying that Hugh Hefner was who taught Bill Cosby all this deviant behavior. And what happened? It was like a month later, that motherfucker died. Just I said, oh, hell no, not him dying. As soon as it got hot, he just croaked. And I believe that might be what may happen with, Lex. Like, oh, shit, they're on to me now. Oh, let me go ahead. So literally like a month after Me Too, a few months maybe, but he just croaked all of a sudden. So again, I just felt like she should have said all this shit while he was alive. And then got the nerve to be buried next to Marilyn Monroe. He would not allow that woman to rest in peace. He is buried next to her. He harassed her all through her life. He harassed her, exploited her. He's a horrible person. My deep dive went super deep on his ass. So, honestly, I don't think they're probably going to take Lex Wexner to jail. I don't see him doing any jail time. I see him croaking. If he was even to get arrested and taken to court, I could just see him croaking within a matter of a month. Because that's a lot for an 87-year-old man. Bad heart. Your body's deteriorating. You're having to face the consequences of your crime. Usually when people are that old and they're facing serious charges, they end up croaking. It's too much stress. Just saying. But I'll never forget that. I said, not his ass dying. This fool was fine a year ago. Remember he'd be out there at 90-some years old in them damn silk pajamas and shit, dancing, having a good old funky time. As soon as Whisper started, as soon as Bill Cosby's ass got arrested, all of a sudden, motherfucker was dead. All right, he was like, peace, I'm out. Bill, you got it. He was out. So I don't know. That's why I'm like, yo, I'm not, Holly, you should have been saying something, shit. Don't talk now. All right, you guys. Let me go ahead and get up out of here. Let's see here. Raven says, hey, T, look at McDonald's. They're sick. Shake my head. I heard about McDonald's. They said people are dying from the Big Macs. I don't eat McDonald's, so I'll be fine. So, yeah. It's a mess, child. But, y'all, thank y'all so much for spending these past 2 hours with me. Please hit the like button if you guys enjoyed this stream. I hope I taught you guys a lot, connected some rabbit holes for y'all. And I might end up possibly doing a deep dive on this because this rabbit hole goes very, very deep. And now that I've been kind of invested, because I've been kind of digging all day, I'm like, I should just turn this into a damn deep dive. All the notes I have on this shit and screenshots, receipt folder, bigger than a mug. But let me go ahead and get up out of here. I will see you guys later. Everybody have a good week. Love y'all. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.